What have you been up to, Joey?
Yesterday I went to my first ever MMA event.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I got invited to go to there's this event called Breaking Down.
Okay.
Which is a very famous MMA event hosted by Asakura Mikuru, who is like a former pro boxer. He's basically at one point he was like, I think the lightweight or featherweight champion of the world, and then he was on this amazing streak, and then he fought Floyd Mayweather and got his ass beat. So he started this event where it's literally Baki in real life. It's the only way to describe it. So the show is anybody can sign up for this.
Oh wow.
So a bunch of people sign up for it. They give their resumes and their fighting history or just talking themselves up. And then they go into this audition phase where they invite all of these dudes into a room to chat and talk shit to one another. And from there they create a roster, a roster to basically go up against one another. And it's really short. Each fight is only 1 minute long, one round. But just it's a lot. It's kind of like MMA cross with WWE, because the WWE aspect is you get to hear about these guys backstories and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fans and stuff like that.
So you had a lot of fun?
It was so fun. I've never been to any kind of fighting event live before, but just seeing these guys, mind you, all of these guys, majority of them are not famous people or anything like that. They're just dudes who live in Japan and are I want to fight. A lot of them are former. Yeah, I'm sure the majority of them are former Yakuza or just very shady backgrounds who do a lot of street fights and stuff like that. I've never seen that high of a concentration of tatted up Japanese dudes in one room. Even the audience members were screaming out it literally sounded like a Baki fight. But just hearing and seeing all of the backgrounds of these guys and why they want to be in the show and basically just the majority of it, all of them is just the only reason why I want to be in Breaking Down is because I want to prove that I'm the strongest. And I'm that's just Baki.
I mean, it's just a fucking tournament arc at the end of the day,
really
right?
is.
That's just what MMA is.
But some of these dudes, man, fucking.
That guy looks like a salary man.
Yeah. But this dude, probably former Yakuza, because the moment he took his shirt off, nothing but tats.
Was there any fight that really stood out to you?
Yeah, there was one where I guess it was a former, not a former champion, but so this is Breaking Down 15 I went to. So this is the 15th event or the 15th season, I guess. Mm-hmm. And some of these guys are kind of recurring, comeback characters.
Side characters,
if you will. There was a dude who was going up. It was a guy who used to be in the first couple of Breaking Down. So he's a long running guy who's been in this tournament for a while, and a newcomer. And it's so funny because before the matches start, they play a little clip of them, chatting shit and talking up themselves, being I'll fucking destroy him, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there was one where literally, the matches are quite short. It's only 1 minute, one round.
Yeah.
Right? And then it goes to a vote. There was one match that I think literally lasted 3 seconds. It just went ding, guy ran up, just went bam, 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 knocked out.
Wow.
And everyone was like, yo!
Yo, it's fucking hype, right?
It's so hype. And just what was so funny was just some of the entrance music that played for some of these dudes, because they get to pick entrance pieces. There was a dude, I was saying this to Gon earlier. There was a dude who unironically walked out to Darude Sandstorm.
Fuck yeah.
And
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, just when I heard Darude, I was like, no way. I just heard the I was like, yo! But what was really funny, and there was a couple of people who walked out to Still Dre by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm just like, are you outing yourself that you've smoked weed in Japan before? Because otherwise you wouldn't know this song.
This is just all the 90s classics, man.
Yeah, but what kind of annoyed me, I was posting a bunch of Instagram stories from the event, and of course I had to post about Darude Sandstorm because it was just funny.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
God, the amount of comments I got on that from, I'm assuming people who are a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
Because so many of them were like, oh, I've never heard this song before, but it slaps. It's
No.
wow, this is old school techno. One that pissed me off was someone went, LOL, millennial coded. And I was like,
That is
fuck
millennial
you.
coded.
I mean, it is millennial coded.
But also, fuck you. Do not talk down on my boy Darude. He made a banger. But yeah, this is fucking great. So they do this event, I think, once every like 6 months or so. So the next one is in like July in Osaka, I think. But yeah, it's fucking great.
How many knockouts did you see?
I think almost every round was a knockout
Fuck.
of some way. If it's so,
Only
if it,
1 minute as well?
yeah. So I mean, I'm telling you, like these guys, the moment the gong goes off,
Yeah.
like no holds barred. They're fucking kicking,
That's
they're
cool.
punching
Yeah.
the shit out of each other. Like
How long was the event?
it was quite long. There's like 20 rounds or so. So I wasn't there for the whole time.
Good
But
time? Good time?
Oh, fucking great time.
There's just something primal about seeing someone knocked
I
out.
always get sad when I see guys beat each other up. I don't know why. I feel bad.
In a
it's primal for a moment, and then I'm like, oh, they're actually just really hurting themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad.
you have too much compassion. In the
Yeah.
moment, you see someone get knocked out, and it's like, yo, that dude just got
Like,
the
I know they
Yeah.
both
knife.
agreed, and they both knew what they were getting themselves
Yeah.
into. But then I just empathize with, like, man, imagine being the guy that got knocked the fuck out.
There was
It's got to be fucking miserable.
There was one fight actually that was the most hype. It was a match between this like kind of former champion, like he used to be like a pro boxer,
Yeah.
and he's like kind of a wholesome dude who was going up against this new guy who came in, who is this fucking TikToker, dude.
Oh, God.
And supposedly he hyped himself up in the video beforehand, being like, yeah, I'm the biggest TikToker in all of Shinjuku, like like I'm like the embodiment of the Kabukicho like vibe and
Yeah.
energy, and like he was total douchebag, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's playing a character, I don't know, but he looked and sounded like an absolute total douchebag. The moment he came in, everyone in the crowd is booing.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's like, no, boo, fuck this
No, that's
guy,
great. That's great for the
fuck
story.
that,
Great for
yeah.
the story.
And then the contender came out, and everyone was like, yeah, fuck him up. And they survived the first round, so there were no knockouts in the first round, and then it goes to a voting thing. So there's 4 judges, and then there's an audience vote
Interesting.
on like who they think won. A lot of the times when it gets to that point, it usually ends in like a draw, and they do an extra 1 minute match. And they got to the draw, and then the moment the second round started, dude just fucking wailed back and just knocked the fuck out of this TikToker out. Everyone stood up and was like, yeah! It's like, fuck you!
He held his own for a minute.
But also it was really funny because I was there with a couple of friends, and we were like, oh, okay, let's see who this like TikToker guy is, because I'd never heard of him.
Yeah.
How many followers do you think he had?
10,000.
900. And I'm just like, bro.
Well, you have to give him credit for great story building.
I mean, yeah.
You got the
He-
whole audience against him, and
No.
no one knew who the fuck he
He
was.
understood his role.
His role, yeah.
In
He
the
was the
story.
heel, you know.
And he played it right. So I appreciate that.
Good heel is priceless. That's
Yeah.
what I don't tell you.
Exactly. So I'm sure he gained a bunch of followers from that. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Going to a live event like this just makes you think like how fucking hyped like OG gladiator matches were.
Oh my
you
God,
know, because
yeah.
that's basically what you're seeing. You know, you're seeing like a modern day Coliseum match, except back in the day it was an actual like blood sports.
Totally.
You know,
Totally.
I've never like properly gotten into MMA, but I have like a few friends who are like truly like properly into MMA. They watch like every week, and it's interesting seeing like the different ways to like appreciate it. Like there's a crowd that's just like, yo, fucking man knocks man out, that's fucking hype. And then there's like the people who like really appreciate like the technical aspect of it as well, because at a point it's kind of like you're watching 2 athletes at the top of the game with different tactics and different ways to win this match, go about it. And it's, I could definitely see myself getting into MMA like later on down in the line.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes hand in hand with
Oh,
like
that's
a lot of, like,
the
gym
TikTok
bros.
guy, by the way. On
Is
the
that a
left.
TikTok guy?
On the left.
Oh, bro,
looks
he
like a-
dressed up right for
Yeah.
it.
Kabukimono?
Kabukimono, yeah.
This is gonna go like full like fucking Joe Rogan for a second, but have you seen that MMA fight where it's just like
This is the most Joe Rogan thing I've ever heard.
where it's just 2 guys and it's round 1 and the bell goes and then they just like give 0 shits about defense and they just like start punching the shit out of each other and seeing who can like tank more. Bro.
I think I have seen this.
Okay, skip over to where the fight starts.
Oh, there you go. Most
Yeah.
replay.
Most
Here we
replay. There we go. Like, wait. This part coming up. Just.
Oh my God.
All right, that was it. Yeah.
Dude,
I'm like, imagine how hype it would be seeing that live, man.
Don Frye looks like a fucking like 1930s pugilist. Like,
I know.
he's just like, stick him up. With the mustache and everything.
Yeah, the mustache is giving.
Hell yeah, dude.
This shit is out of a fucking Rocky movie, man.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
so
like-
good.
Fucking American shorts as well.
American shorts as well. I know
yeah.
this MMA fight lives with like this clip lives with my mind.
Yeah, no,
rent-free.
it's interesting, right, that you say that, Connor, because like I wasn't really interested or anything in like MMA or boxing either, but I think actually seeing an event, even though it's not a like, technically like the proper MMA fight, it kind of changed my mind on it. It's really hype.
I just like seeing someone get punched.
I didn't think so
Dunno, I
either,
just
but
don't like
when
it.
you get like characters like that are clearly playing the villain, and then them getting what they deserve, there was a part of me
Like,
that
I
was
know
all,
everyone's down for it. Like, I know everyone's like chill
Yeah.
with it and they know they're getting punched and stuff. I don't know, man. Something about it makes you feel weird.
Well, did you guys ever in your life have like a wrestling phase or anything like that, or just consumed it at all?
No, I got into my wrestling phase like during COVID.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So wait.
I admire the athleticism of wrestling.
Yeah.
So I understand
Yeah.
like it's very demanding on the body. And
Yeah.
I respect what they do, but you know, and I filmed videos with wrestlers and that was really interesting. But for me, I've just always struggled to really connect with it on a personal level. But I always really enjoyed it.
Which
and
is
admired
hilarious
the
because
craft.
out of the three of us, you've definitely had the most fist fights in your life.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about fighting when it's real versus when it's agreed upon.
Right.
It's just so different.
It's not raw enough.
I think the rawness of aggression and when it's necessary is what I don't know, is what makes it feel necessary.
I don't know. I've watched wrestling a few times, and especially like I think my cousin, like my only exposure to wrestling was my cousin was like really into wrestling in like the late 90s, early 2000s, basically when The Rock was like at his peak for the WWF back at the time. And I think I get it to a point, but the amount of investment it requires
It's a lot.
to follow every storyline. Because like you know, with the thing that I respect about wrestling fans is that it's the amount of time investment you need to follow all of these storylines for all of these different wrestlers. You know, it is a new kind of like, it is a different level of rabbit hole than fucking
It's like the Gundam franchise.
yeah, right. But like, imagine that, but it's just never ending.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still continuing on to this day.
Like the Gundam franchise.
And like, part of me is jealous of wrestling fans because they talk about the experience. They talk about their experience of some of these major fucking moments in wrestling, and I get jealous of them because I'm like, damn, I understand why you're a wrestling fan because I want to feel the emotions.
They talk
that
about
you-
it like it's like watching the Berlin Wall fall down. Like it's like
yeah, I want to feel that.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be so
right.
hype? Like something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened recently where it was I saw some people talking about John Cena turning heel.
Yeah, into
Right?
the villain arc.
Yeah, into the villain
I
arc.
saw that clip as well.
And I'm just like, even like my base knowledge of wrestling, right? I can only imagine the emotions you like wrestling fans would go through feeling that.
It's that clip of like when John Cena is going in to hug someone and The Rock is standing behind him and he just goes. Everyone's like, oh shit!
like I can't even imagine going like your whole life growing up. You see John Cena, Mr. America, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
He's like, he stands for everything that's right. And then you like grow up as an adult and you see that villain arc. I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. I wish I could feel the betrayal and the emotions, even though it's scripted, even though it's
That's the thing. I mean this in the nicest way. For me, wrestling is my trash TV, where it's like it's so like
I mean, it's amazing.
it's
Like,
so fun to watch,
it is
especially
fun to watch,
knowing
yeah.
like, you know, like, and that whole argument of like, oh, wrestling is fake. Why would you even enjoy it? It's
mean,
like, but
come
that's why it's fun to watch, because it's like watching a
Why
story.
would you watch a movie if it's not real?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
I think, I want to get into wrestling.
Yeah.
So fucking bad.
And as someone who used to, you know, kind of put down wrestling when I was younger,
Yeah.
I was just being like, oh, it's fake. You know, why would you even enjoy this? Like, as an adult now and getting into it over COVID, like, I get it now. It's just like, it's like watching a great TV series.
Yeah.
You know?
And like the only thing that puts me off from getting into wrestling is just the time investment.
Yeah.
That is literally it.
Yeah.
That-
Like,
that-
when do you start? You know?
I'm like, where do I start to get into it?
Like, which SmackDown do I start with, you know?